Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters Show. It's the 10th of December 25.
Great to be here.
Today we are doing a deep dive into the big corporate moves, market shifts, and some of the geopolitical news that's really hitting the economy this week.
Okay, so let's jump right into the corporate news. First up, something pretty significant with Tenaga National.
TNB. What's happened there?
Well, Khazanah sold off a 2.33% stake. We're talking about 1.69 billion ringgit.
Wow. And the buyer.
EPF, and this is the key point. DPF is now the largest shareholder, with its stake now at 21.25%.
So our pension fund is now the top dog at TNB. For you, the listener, does this signal a bigger focus on long-term stability for such a critical utility?
I think it has to, right? It definitely shows a deepening commitment from EPF to national infrastructure. Speaking of shareholders, let's talk about DKSH Holdings.
They're going private.
Exactly. The main shareholder, DKSH Resources, put an offer on the table, RM 6.15 per share.
That's a good premium, isn't it? About 16.7%. It's a profitable exit. But does it say something about the wider market? You know, companies getting tired of low liquidity?
I think so. It's a good deal for shareholders who are stuck, but it does show that fatigue. Now, shifting from exits to entries, Bursa has a new strategy for IPOs.
Yes. Focusing on scale over quantity, I read.
That's it. Beyond 2025, they want bigger, stronger companies listing, especially Bumi-Putra firms that can compete globally.
Which is really critical support for a company like Orcam, the marine transport firm they just debuted.
A modest gain, just 1%. But the bigger story for them is the government talking about extending the 100% income tax exemption for their industry.
That's huge. That kind of tax certainty is exactly what they need to, rejuvenate their aging fleet.
Absolutely. Now let's move down to Johor. So much happening there. First, digital currency.
The RMJDT.
Yes, the new ringgit-backed stablecoin launched by the region, Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim. It's on the Zetrix AI blockchain. The idea is to make cross-border trade settlements much, much smoother.
And sticking with Johor, the data center boom is just exploding.
It really is. Singapore's Empyrean Digital just got the green light for a massive 200-megawatt campus. They've already secured 145 megawatts of power from TNB.
A 200-megawatt campus. Just so you understand, that is a huge amount of power driven entirely by demand for things like AI.
But not every sector is booming. The glove makers are really struggling.
It's more than just the supply glut, right?
It is. Now it's the stronger ringgit. It's up nearly 9% this year against the U.S. dollar. Since they sell in dollars, but not all their costs are in dollars, that currency gain hits their profit margins directly.
A tough spot. And finally, on the corporate side, Gentayu Sustainables is facing some delays.
A legal challenge, yeah. A shareholder is questioning their EGM, and that could slow down the financing for their massive Project Oriole hydropower plant in Sabah. A real execution risk there.
Right. Okay, let's pivot from corporate risks to, governance risks.
A report from the NGO Project Sama found that a third of corruption cases against politicians since 2018 ended with the charges being withdrawn by the AG's chambers.
And for you, as an investor or just a citizen, that kind of inconsistency raises serious questions about transparency and regulatory stability.
It does. And on a related note, the think tank Ideas is pushing for a political financing act. They want disclosure for money spent on political influencers.
To bring some of that opaque funding out into the open.
Precisely. Now, on fiscal policy, some clarity from the government. They're sticking with the SST for now, no GST coming back.
They said it's because household incomes are just too low.
Correct. And another clarification. Outstanding traffic summonses will not affect your eligibility for the Buda 95 petrol subsidy.
That's good news for many. There was also a call in the Senate to address the pay gap for persons with disabilities.
Yes, a senator pointed out that the minimum wage just isn't enough given the rising cost of living, especially for vulnerable groups.
Okay, let's look internationally. The U.S.-China tech battle continues.
It never stops. Beijing is now set to limit access to NVIDIA's top-tier H200 chips, even though the U.S. gave permission for them to be exported.
And people are trying to get around the rules? Weren't two people just detained for smuggling?
They were, allegedly smuggling $160 million worth of NVIDIA chips just by changing the labels. It shows you how critical this tech is.
Wow. Elsewhere, Australia made a huge move on social media.
A world first. They've banned it for kids under 16. Platforms now have to use age verification or they'll face massive fines. That could set a global precedent.
A huge deal for child safety. And finally, some worrying news closer to home.
A serious border battle between Thailand and Cambodia. It's been raging for a second day, and the Thai PM has ruled out any dialogue for now. A real risk to regional stability.
With all this volatility, it's fascinating to see how people react. In Thailand, gold prices are surging.
That's right. Low interest rates, economic uncertainty, it's all driving investors towards tangible assets, a real flight to safety. It's a lesson in how people prioritize wealth preservation when things get shaky.
A great takeaway. To keep on top of all these dynamics shaping your financial world, make sure you subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast.
We'll see you next time.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.